How is it going, Zebra Sexuals? It's Zebra here, bringing you yet another Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be an OU match against a guy that I've battled before named SirDwarfFlark. This is from Small Gun Battle Wi-Fi Finder. This is an OU team. I did this morning, so this has all been done this morning. This is on my first cup of coffee, so some players are kind of questionable, but this turned out to be a pretty good game. So looking at this team, pretty much I got off of Rate My Team again. It's just a bunch of, like, I guess offensive, or just a really mix of everything. So I figured, why not try it out? I got Sword Dance, Breloom, Wish Jirachi, Sub-Disable Gengar. There's a lot of pooks with sub. I guess you could say it's like a Nick team. I got Dragonite with sub, Roost, D-Dance, Mono Attacker. Then I got sub Toxic Tentacruel, which I don't think I really like that much. But looking at his team, I think he's going to probably lead off with Donphan, Rotom, or whatever. I don't really know what he wants to do. So I'm just going to lead off with Tentacruel because I figured, one thing that this team was missing, because I think before he used to have an Infernape, so I was missing some sort of U-turn or some sort of scouting post. So that's what this team really was lacking for me. That kind of bites me in the butt. I don't know why I decided to go for Toxic when he had 3 things on his team to resist it. So I probably should have just gone for another Scald. I should have gone for Scald, or should have just gone for Substitute. But I'm going to go for Substitute on the Pharaoh just because I know it can't really do anything to me, because Power Whip will probably, since I am more physically based, it probably won't break my sub, and then Gyro Ball won't do much because quad resist and whatever. But not quad resist, just resisted. But he's just gonna go for the Volt Change again. This time I just go for the the Scald just to see if I could get a burn on something. But he brings in Heatran, and it does decent amount of damage for me, not being like specially based, but special defensive Heatran sponges it like a champ. So would have been nice to get a burn to get some residual damage, but that's not going to happen. Here I'm going to sub just in case he's going to maybe set up rocks or something, or Lava Plume. I'm not sure. I was predicting Earth Power sort of, but I didn't really want to switch in on anything and over-predict, but turns out not to be the case, and I'm going to end up sacking my Tentacruel really early on in the game. So I think I just go for another Scald as he brings in his Rotom, which is kind of unfortunate for me. I guess he was predicting a switch out into Dragonite, or maybe another Dragon type, predicting Earth Power or something. But I'm going to go ahead and go into Dragonite this time just because I have Multiscale, and if he wants to Volt Change, it probably won't do much to me just because of Multiscale and Neutral, and it actually doesn't end up doing much. So he's going to end up bringing in the Medusa, and originally I guess the Dragonite that this guy listed had Fire Punch on it, but mine doesn't, so it's kind of a problem when you're only a mono attacker. But here I was predicting Leech Seed or something, or especially Leech Seed or Hazards, just to to cripple my Dragonite, but he goes for the Thunder Wave, which I really wasn't expecting. So my Breloom kind of gets paralyzed right there. So he's able to get up a layer of spikes as I go for the Spore. And here I'm just going to go for the Sword Dance, totally forgetting that he has this thing, the Dragonite, and he also has a Gengar on his team that can pretty much check Breloom in his place. So I'm going to end up having to switch out an Ikachan as fodder just to kind of see what this Dragonite wants to do, because I have no idea what it wants to do. I wish I could have probably gotten Rocks up or something. But he goes for the Extreme Speed, so I'm thinking maybe he might be banded, just maybe, or maybe he's a D-Dance set. So I'm going to bring in Gengar just to see, and turns out he is, I guess, banded because he has to switch out, and I'm going to be able to set up a sub. I guess he didn't want to, well, his multi-skill is intact, so he could have probably hit me with something, but turns out he was choice banded. So in comes Heatran. I got a sub up, so I'm like fire off a Focus Splash just to do as much damage as I can to the Heatran, because it is, it's super effective, and it's Focus Splash from a Gengar, so it's going to do a good amount of damage. It ends up doing about almost half, and he's just going to go for the Roar to roar me out into Hydreigon. And Hydreigon, since Black and White 2, he gets Superpower now, so I figured might as well go for the Superpower because Earthquake might be kind of obvious. I don't know. I was just like, I just got to go for something to hit the Heatran with, so I figured I'd just go for Superpower. But it turns out, I guess his Ferrothorn is running high special, or high defense, or I guess Hydreigon's attack isn't really that great. But I guess that's just how it's going to go. So I'm going to end up switching out just because I am locked into Superpower, and it's not looking very favorable, so let's put it in a more favorable odds and bring in Jirachi. He's going to bring in Rotom. I guess Rotom to take another superpower, obviously, and to, I guess, maybe fire off a hidden power ice if it has it, but he's going to go ahead and Volt Switch out on my Jirachi, and I figured this would probably be a good time to set up rocks, just to get it up and break that Dragonite's multi-scale, because multi-scale on Dragonite is kind of threatening, and, you know, just I guess get residual rocks on whatever else he has. Even though he does have a down fan, he could rapid spin him away later. But I am not liking the looks of Heatran facing me down, so I think I'm just going to bring in Hydreigon on the Lava Plume just to take the hit and hopefully threaten out the Heatran with another superpower or something, which I thought he would think I would go for, either the superpower or the Earthquake. So I'm like, okay, he probably thinks I have the Earthquake, so I was going to go for the Draco, trying to scare him out, but doesn't turn out to be the case. And what I didn't expect on his Heatran was for it to have Hidden Power Ice for him to stay in, because that was not great, because Hidden Power Ice is going to do a lot to where I don't really want to bring something in on the off chance of, you know, him going for the Lava Plume, so I'm just going to fire off another Draco, since a lot of my pokes are weak to either Lava Plume or another Hidden Power Ice, so there's really no favorable switch in for me to go to. Jirachi would not take a Lava Plume very nice, neither would Breloom, and if he did on the off chance go for another Hidden Power Ice, predicting, I guess, I don't know, Dragonite predicting the Lava Plume, none of them really wanted to take him really well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Breloom and just threaten him out with a Mach Punch, which is, you know, kind of obvious, because that's all I can really do, just to get the Heatran out of the way. And thankfully he doesn't switch into Gengar predicting the Mach Punch, so luckily that turns out in a way better favorable matchup for me. He does bring in the Gengar now. Gengar, I have nothing for Gengar, so I'm just going to bring in Jirachi since it is mostly specially defensive. Hopefully he'll take a hit, and he ends up going for Sludge Bomb, which is great because, you know, it doesn't affect Jirachi, and Jirachi's in here with more HP. And he ends up switching out, so I'm like, okay, I didn't see Leftover, or Black Sludge, or, well, I didn't get to see Life Orb, but just him switching out kind of hints that he's Choice, and I was thinking maybe he's Choice Specs, or Choice Scarfed in a way, maybe, but I'm thinking maybe Choice Specs just because this Rotom to me right now is looking to be Choice Scarfed, because just looking at the way it is, so I'm going to go for, he's going to go for the Hydro Pump. I was predicting either Volt Switch or anything, but I'm just going to set up a Wish. I think here he was probably predicting me to Wish Pass into something, but I figured I'd just go ahead and leave Jirachi and just go for a Body Slam on the off chance I can take another Hydro Pump, just looking at the damage it did. Vary in min-max, and then also a miss in my favor, and try and get the Paralyze on the Rotom, which would be nice, but he brings in Donphan, gets Paralyze on it. Doesn't really turn out to be much of a big difference odds maker in this game. The only thing I think is that he gets paralyzed here when he goes for, I'm not sure what he goes for, but he gets paralyzed. I think he's probably just going for Earthquake, thinking he could take an Iron Head and Body Slam, but if he did go for the Earthquake, it wouldn't have done much. There's no point in going for Ice Shard on Jirachi since it's resisted, but I'm going to go ahead and bring in Gengar, take the Ice Shard a lot better than I thought I would, a lot better than I thought I would take it, but I see that how much Ice Shard's doing to me, and I'm like, okay, he can hit me with another Ice Shard, and I can set up a sub and be in pretty good shape to, you know, take him out. So, is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a sub, but he switches into a Sleeping Ferrothorn, so pretty much I get a free sub up, and I do have Focus Blast, which he saw to threaten out the Ferrothorn. It is asleep, so he has one turn of sleep guaranteed, so that means I can hit him with the Focus Blast and hopefully do as much damage as I can to him. So he's going to go ahead and bring in his Rotom Wash, and I'm like, okay, so Focus Blast is going to hit it. It's going to do a good amount of damage to this thing because, you know, it's a Focus Blast from a Gengar. So I'm like, okay, so he's Scarfed. He's probably going to want to Volt Switch out and predict it, but I'm going to go for the Substitute, but turns out he's not Scarfed. I guess he's running Specs, or I don't know, he's bluffing something really well. He might be Specs, possibly. So I think he said he was. He had 3 choice pokes, and then he's going to go into his Gengar, which is actually going to scare me. So I'm like, here I'm in a predicament. This Gengar is probably Scarfed if his Rotom is Specs, but it turns out his, I guess he missapped here, and his Gengar was actually Specs, so I was ready to throw Gengar away just to bring in Dragonite and possibly just go for the, you know, the Dragon Claw, if not go for the Extreme Speed, or not Extreme Speed, Dragon Dance, to try and take on that Gengar, but thankfully I'm able to keep my Gengar and hit him with the Shadow Ball as he brings in his Dragonite, which I know is banded, so I go for the sub just to scout what he wants to do, because he can't go for the Extreme Speed, so he only has Fire Punch, Outrage, and then I guess Water Aqua Tail or whatever, whichever move that you want, maybe Superpower, but I'm just going to go for the Disable, because I thought if you disable an Outrage, he just ends up struggling, but it turns out not to be the case, and he's just going to switch out into his Rotom, because I broke the Outrage turns or whatever, and just let that die, as he can switch in something, I guess, more favorable, but I think all he has left is his, this and a Sleeping Ferrothorn, and is Donphan dead? I think Donphan might be dead, but go ahead and go for another Shadow Ball, just see how much damage it does, and barely lives on a little bit of HP, so he's going to be able to go for the Outrage and break my sub. And but thankfully, I am faster than it because I am a Gengar, and Shadow Ball is actually going to take it out. So I think his last two pokes are going to, or his last poke is a Ferrothorn, but thankfully Gengar was able to pull out a little mini sweep at the towards the end of the game by, oh wait, no, there's his Donphan. So he's going to bring in Donphan, and I believe he's going to go for Ice Shard and get paralyzed here. Yeah, so he's going to get unfortunate Parahacks there, and Donphan's going to end up dying to a Shadow Ball. And his last poke, which is the Ferrothorn, and I'm going to actually be able to take that out with the Focus Blast, clean out the Ferrothorn. So that's going to end up being the match. It was sort of a good game. Actually, it was a good game. It could have gone either way. If his Gengar was scarfed and took out my my Gengar, I would probably be limited to very little options on what to do to take out that Gengar and try and take out his Banded Dragonite. My only bet would probably bringing in DD Dragonite, but my only attack is Dragon Claw, which is kind of a problem. So it could have gone either way. Luckily, I had Breloom still, possibly to take out the Ferrothorn and the Donphan, but it could have gone either way, but that, I guess, mishap kind of came back to bite him. He did really bluff the Rotom really good, had me fooled, but there were some pretty good plays in there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this match. That's going to be it for me. I'm done rambling. I will catch you Zebra Sexuals later, maybe with another battle, probably on a Monday, because Sunday I'll probably be watching American football for you non-American viewers. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I will catch you later. Cheers. Also, I forgot that I have a PMP Beta upload that it was posted, I think, like 2 days ago. So if you haven't seen that, you can go check that out. There will be a link in the description. So, yeah, there's also that. Cheers.